Hi, my name is David Threlkeld. I teach at the University of the Cumberlands in Williamsburg, Kentucky. And today I'm going to talk to you about the audition music for saxophone for the ETSBOA All East Jazz Ensemble. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me via email or Facebook. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. Okay, so at the beginning of that phrase, right off the bat, you have this B flat to B natural to C. Now what I'm envisioning when he says the New Orleans second line beat, this is the tuba player playing this low note. And then the very next thing that you have is the answer with the horn section, and then after that we actually get into the solo line. Now the issue right off the bat with the B flat to B natural to C is that's kind of a clunky thing on the saxophone, so you have a couple of different options. You can either use your roller and take your finger and push hard and make it go up to that B natural and then to the C, or if you've got a great big spatula on your saxophone like I do, you can actually stick your finger on the B natural key, roll the wrist down so that you're hitting the B flat, and then start out that way and roll up like this. So whichever option is going to work best for you. Just find something that will make it work on you. Okay, so articulation. What you want to do on this phrase is start out and think do-ah-ah. You're not going to tongue the C at the beginning, but you're going to release it with a C since the slur mark goes into it. Do-ah-ah. Then the very next four notes, you're going to go do-da-do-dit. Those are the horns answering. And then the next phrase after that, you're going to slur through the entire phrase until you get to the D in measure 4. Once you get to the D in measure 4, you're going to go up and slur into the E flat. And fortunately, since you're coming from a D, you'll already be on a D. Just add your octave key and then bend into that E flat by pushing your E flat key open a little slower than usual. And you might even loosen the embouchure a little bit when you begin that note and then scoop up into it. After that, you're going to go into the next measure, measure 5. And what you want to do when you're doing a swing style is accent the upper notes in a phrase and de-emphasize the lower notes. So in measure 5, I'm emphasizing the higher notes, the C sharp, the C natural, and then on the end of 3, the B and the G on the end of 4. And then we start the next phrase with a C in the next measure. Okay, so once again we start with the tuba note in the bottom with that low C. You got the horns answering with the do-da-do-dit. The C will be a dot, D-A-H-T, and then do-da-do-dit. And then you're going to hit that B flat, and then as you go into measure 7, you're going to go do-da-dit, do-da-dit for your articulation. And then you have to bring the sound way down so you can get that low C at piano and build back up. Going into measure 9, when you hit the A flat and the E flat, you're going to think do-day and then dot for the next phrase. So, tuba note is the F. The horns answering are the A's and the A flat and the A natural once again. And you're also going to do the same articulation that we did in the previous phrase at the beginning here. Dot and then do-da-do-dit. A little bit of a breath accent on that B flat, and then I'm emphasizing the upper notes in the line. So the C natural, the A natural, and then going into the next measure, the B natural and the B flat. Give it kind of that swinging feel there. What you have is the tuba line that you had at the beginning here again, and in the same phrasing, so I won't go through all that again. When you get into measure 14, you're going to have the quarter notes on the second, the the fourth beat in that measure and the second and fourth beat in the measure after that are going to get a breath accent. Okay, so you're going to start this phrase very, very softly, pianissimo. It's the softest dynamic you have in the piece, and then you're going to build up very quickly. As far as which notes I'm bringing out in this line, the D's all through the first measure, and the second measure there, also the D's. When you go into measure 18, the C sharps, and then at the very top of the line of bar 19, of course, the E flat's going to jump out. As far as articulations go, just exactly what's written on the page. When you get in bar 17, you got the D to the C to the D. Da-do-dit is what you want to think. And then when you get at the end of measure 19, I'm thinking do-day on those very top notes there. Okay, so for this little whole tone pattern through here, what you're going to do, once again, is emphasize the upper notes, the G, the A, the B in the first measure, the F, G, and A in the second measure, the E flat, F, and G in the third measure of that phrase. And the articulation, just slur everything. When you get that fourth note, you're not going to tongue it at the beginning of the note, but as at the beginning we talked about, ot. So do-ah-ooh-ah-ooh-ah-ot. So you get that nice release at the end, but you're not actually tonguing the beginning of the note. And you have this big bomb that drops. There's a big rest on the measure 1, or on beat 1, excuse me. On beat 2, you're going to hit really hard with that fortissimo D flat. Go up to the top of the line. Da-do-da-do-do-do-do-dot. Let me say that again. Da-do-da-do-da-dot. And then you have the little opening phrase one more time. Okay?